Who would know we would have got some news in the NBA over the weekend? I was not prepared for that, but it seems like as we get closer to the next training camp opening, the season has ended and the new season is beginning. Let's bring in Gilbert McGregor from Sporting News. Gilbert, great to have you back here on NewsWire. I know it's been a minute, and NFL is going to start. That's going to take full stage here, but the NBA like trickling in a little news over the weekend. I would ask you this before we get to like sort of the numbers and all that. Luka signed a contract extension with the Lakers. That's our story that we're beginning with here. Why now? Why did this happen yesterday? Why was it announced yet? The timing to me is strange because I just don't understand the dynamic of it. Couldn't this have happened a month ago or 2 months ago, etc.?
So funny enough, I can't tell you the exact reason why, but I do know that this was the first day he was actually eligible to do it. So Lakers fans should probably be encouraged by the fact that he wasted no time, got a workout in on the morning of August 2nd, and eventually signed that contract. And that was a date that had been circled once they made that trade for him 6 months after he became Lakers. So that's probably actually what it was. It was 6 months to the date of the trade becoming official. That was the first day he was eligible to do it, and they definitely made a good audition and a good impression. Everything they've done in the last 6 months to have him confident to sign and stay on with the franchise for at least the next 2 seasons.
Yeah, 3 years, $165 million, a no-brainer, five-time All-Star, five-time NBA first team, Rookie of the Year, scoring champion. And we know he's going to help the Lakers. The odds makers are telling us they need a lot more here, Gilbert, because over on FanDuel, the win total for the upcoming season is just 48.5. And that's with that Lakers tax that we pay every single year. I mean, this is like just above 500. So is there a third piece going to head to LA, or is this the way they're going to roll, you think?
It feels like this is what they're going to do right now. This is the team that they have. I mean, the DeAndre Ayton signing, the Marcus Smart signing, those are two. I guess in the margins, you could say DeAndre Ayton is a former number one overall pick, but I know there's a lot of questions around LeBron James and his temperament. How happy is he to be with the Lakers right now? And the other part of it is that the Western Conference is just really good. The Lakers have made some moves this offseason, but I'm not sure if they're better than the defending champs. Denver, Houston are all teams I would put ahead of Los Angeles right now, and even Minnesota, the team they lost to in the playoffs. So this is a Lakers team who, as it stands right now, is probably between the 5th and 10th best team in the Western Conference. And I know that's a wide range, but there are teams comfortably ahead of them. So it's going to be hard to win games in the West this year.
Yeah, I would agree. And let's take a look at those real quick here again. Their win total 48.5 to make the playoffs minus 500, to win the Western Conference 10-1, the finals plus 1,700. If you had to make a choice today, and I'm not going to hold you to it, Gilbert, would you say they go over that or under? What do you think?
I'm going to take the over right now because this time last year, fans were joking and laughing at Lakers fans for thinking they could get Luka Doncic, and then they got them. They are the Lakers, and they always are able to pull something off that we never expect. So we could be sitting here 3.5 months down the line being surprised at how the Lakers were able to get the next disgruntled star or the next star whose franchise is done with them. So never count them out. I think that Luka Doncic has something to prove. We've seen this all-season transformation. He might put forth an MVP caliber year, so that should get them 50 wins.
Let's get now to the other story in the NBA that seems to be gaining a lot of steam. And I wonder how you feel about this one, Gilbert, with Joel Embiid, because this is a player that when he's at his best is arguably the best player in the league, but he's been far from it when he's been hurt. In fact, over 11 seasons, he's missed almost as many games as he's played. And this is what I guess is the big question. The 76ers organization is rooting for him to be healthy and playing. But here is the bigger one, Gilbert. Would they be destroyed if this guy decided to retire and they could open up their book again and pay somebody else if he can't play? Because, I got to tell you, getting 40 games from an NBA player anymore just doesn't matter who it is. Doesn't seem to be in the cards of success.
Yeah, it's difficult. And this has been from the moment they drafted him. You kind of wish now that we could have seen his career unfold a different way. It's been 11 years now, and I know he missed his first couple of seasons, with those injuries that he dealt with. And now here we are wondering what if in a lot of ways, and even wondering what if we still saw an MVP season out of Joel Embiid. But now at this point, he's 31 years old. We're unsure what's going on with the knee, and you can't help but feel for him and a little bit in the franchise. And there are things that maybe hindsight is 2020, and he could have done differently, and the Sixers organization could have done differently. But like you said, all you could do is now look forward, and is looking forward, saying, "Hey, we're just going to limit him to 50 or 55 games to have him ready for the playoffs, and is having 70% of Joel Embiid better than not having him at all, because 70% of Joel Embiid is better than the majority of centers in the NBA because of how
Right.
good he actually is. So they have a lot of things that they'll have to weigh. I think just making sure the big picture is still in play. We've seen it in the past. We've seen guys kind of come back and have a second act in their career at 32,
Hmm.
at 33 years old. But it will probably require a much lesser workload for him, and they hand the keys to somebody like Tyrese Maxey. They have a lot of young talent on that team, but how do they pass that over and kind of take away from Joel Embiid as he gets older?
Let's get to the Boston Celtics and their ownership group. Looks like they're going to be adding a WNBA team to the fold. Gilbert, why Connecticut Sun leaving Connecticut? Is it simply because of the purchase here?
I think they've kind of reached their ceiling. They've had some good success in Connecticut. They've never won the big one there, but those who are familiar with that situation, that setup, they're owned by the Mohegan Tribe, and they also run the casino, which is why they are the Connecticut Sun up there. But I do think that the facilities and things like that have kind of limited them as far as their ability to compete at a high level. A lot of players left that team because they felt like they couldn't compete. So if you have an NBA team come in and take over and keep the team in New England, which I think is very important for this ownership group, but bringing them to Boston, bringing them to that big city, that major league city, you'll be able to do a little bit more. We're seeing it around the league: Phoenix, Las Vegas. There are teams who
Yep.
have their own practice facilities and things like that. That's given them a competitive advantage. New York as well. So maybe Boston can follow suit with having the Boston Sun moving forward.
WNBA's second season about to begin. Trade deadline coming up here. Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever doing well without her. I would only imagine if they added to this mix that maybe Indiana could win a championship this year. I've seen their odds just surge.
Yeah, they're finding ways to win without Caitlin Clark. I think they have developed an identity. And I think the interesting thing is this is going to be a transitional offseason with the CBA negotiations. But because of that, 100 players, plus 100 players, are going to be free agents this year. So we can see people on the move right now if teams don't want to lose their players for nothing. The Lynx already made a big deal. They're at the top of the standings. But the Fever, 1-5 without Caitlin Clark, can get her healthy and be ready for the stretch run.
Well, Gilbert, I know there'll be plenty to cover with the NBA as we continue the off season and get ready for the next season with the NBA's preseason beginning in a couple months. Thanks again for coming on NewsWire. Really appreciate it.
Absolutely.